皆さん、こんにちは。スティーブ的視点のスティーブです。車の盗難。もう日本ではかなり、大きな問題になっていると思いますね。アメリカでも昔からは大きな問題なんですよね。で、いつも気になるんだけど、みんなの愛車、もう一台一台は本当に大事にしてきた車が誰かに持っていかれる、取られる、盗まれることが許せないことですよね。許せないです。完全に。ただ、どういうふうにそれを防ぐのか、自分のものをどうやって守るのかということを、ちょっと詳しく、アメリカの、それに詳しいおまわりさんの友達がいます。ブライアンさんって言うんですけど、このテキサス州タラントカウンティ、この、周辺、ダラス周辺のおまわりさんなんで、ちょっと聞いてみたいなと思って、読んでみました。皆さんに、ブライアンさんのことを紹介したいと思います。ブライアン
Hello, what's going on?
I want to thank you first for coming on today and for talking about a topic that I know for Japanese and for American people, especially people who love cars, is a really big issue. You know what I mean? Cars getting stolen, something you love getting taken from you. You know what I mean? It's a problem. It's particularly a problem in Japan for a lot of people who love my channel. But I know it's a tough thing, man. Car theft. Somebody wants something bad enough. I guess they get their way and they get to take it. But man, there's got to be ways to protect yourselves in today's world. I mean, your car, for one, many things, your own possessions. Do you have any tips or anything you can give, some insight into ways that somebody can help avoid having their loved possession like a car? It means everything to them taken from them.
A lot of people, if you have clear windows and even if you have a little slight tinted windows, people have got to the point where they're so comfortable now, they would still leave their purse, they'll leave a laptop, they'll leave even cell phones. Because you think, who is still a cell phone? People still do. But it's still good to put them out of sight. And another thing that I have noticed a lot is usually when people have nice cars, there's a lot of people who have nice cars. I love cars myself. A lot of people tend to not park with the group. They will park all the way alone, being by itself. And when people do that, it's targeted. It's like, oh, there's a car that's standing alone, because anybody can act like it's their car and walk up to it. But when you're with a group of people, you have more eyes. When you're far away, thinking that somebody's going to scratch or dent your car, you're basically saying, hey, look at me, I'm by myself, just got to think smart. I would think, like, if I was a a car thief, I would be targeting somebody that's far away. Oh yeah, well, it's a car parked far away up under the tree by itself. Owner's not there. People automatically would think that this car belongs to me. Versus you being in the group, well, that person might be around because there's a lot of people here and they're parked next to me and everybody's watching. So we just have to play it smart. Main thing, don't leave your things in plain sight.
But contrary to what you just said, which was surprising to me, but I never really thought about it, I'll tell you, this is a little eye-opening to me too. I'm the guy who parks in the back corner of a parking lot away from everybody because I don't want nobody to hit my car. I
Yes.
don't mind walking. I feel like it's exercise for me, and I keep my vehicle safe. I know I got my spot in the corner where there's only half a chance of the car getting dinged up or hit by somebody because there's only one access next to it. But you're
Right.
saying that actually creates an opportunity in some ways for people to an opportunity just to come after my vehicle. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
in plain sight is if now you can park, kind of close. But what I'm talking about is just way like where nobody is, like way and about, and your car is by itself. I try to kind of stay with the crowd just a little bit, maybe, but just a little way, maybe 4 or 5 spaces away, because you're right. I don't want my car dinged up and scratched up as well either, because people don't really care unless it's their vehicle being dinged and scratched.
Over the years, I'm sure if cars have changed, methods or ways that people have been stealing cars have changed. What do you see recently in these last few years? Are there any trends in the auto theft world that you're seeing here in America
Well, yeah, one
or
trend that
Texas?
I've seen a lot of young people. They have like the Kia group because evidently somebody mastered it. They know how to get into it. They're easy to steal, even if they update it or not. That's what they target a lot. When I first heard about it, and I was like, Kia, why would anybody a group to steal Kia? Well, you just know a lot of young folks. They just have these little groups where they steal and get certain kind of cars. Another one is Tesla. The thing about Tesla is it's a little bit more difficult, but people right now are learning the mastermind of how to get into it. This younger generation, they're getting smarter, and they're good with computers as well too.
I heard stories of people with Lexuses getting up under the front fenders,
Yes.
plugging into the access ports there and stealing these Lexuses in less than a minute without really making no noise, not smashing no windows or nothing, right?
There you have some very smart criminals out there. You very smart criminals. So don't think anything is 100%. But you just, when it comes to having your vehicle stolen or broken into, things like that, I would just put myself in that person's head. Like, hey, what would you do? Or what would I do? No, I should park here. No, I should park there. No, I should hide my things. No, I should not leave something on the dashboard, because people have a hard time doing that because a lot of citizens get complacent. I'm just being honest. Your car hasn't been broken into within a year or two, or maybe 10 years, that, hey, it's never going to happen to you again. That's wrong. You know, things change all the time. Community changes, people change, technology changes. You just have to play it safe.
Japan is a crowded country. It's like a big city setting in, where the parking is not, easy to come by. In many cases, you're parking outside at night. You're parking in a small little parking area, in a signed parking spot. Your car is exposed outside. What are some incentives that you as an owner can do? And I'm not talking about breaking into the car now. I'm talking about somebody stealing the actual vehicle now at this point. What are some things you can do if you have to park outside every day to protect your vehicle from the probability of getting stolen?
You are going to have to use common sense, but you have to remember that just because you have a good high-tech alarm system and anti-theft system, things like that, criminals are still going to try you regardless. So you can't just say, well, I have this $1,000 alarm system and I'm going to be untouchable. You're certainly wrong. One thing that you can help, AirTag, get you a tracking device, hide it somewhere good. And so you always know.
I think it's great advice. But again, we're in a situation that the vehicle has already been stolen. Now you maybe have a chance of recovering your vehicle because you're able to track it and track it down, right? So that's good. But let's talk about how to maybe help de-incentivize somebody from stealing it. Being an old dude, 53 years old, I'll tell you what I think about. The Club came out way back when.
Yeah, I remember the little red bar that you stick on the steering wheel so they can't turn it. Yeah,
right.
They mastered that too. Right. I think the Club is good because you still have a lot of people that have no clue of how to get it. And some of these criminals now, especially young folks, they're so into technology that some of them forget the basic stuff.
Right. Analog solution to a high-tech problem.
So many people are so focused on of the technology and that they know they got to hurry up and learn this, hurry up and learn that you forget about the basic locks, like locking your steering wheel. Or they have the tire locks now. You can put it on the front of the back where, on the axle, where if you leave, you can't go anywhere. A lot of those criminals aren't going to want to try to fool that. They're basically too focused on technology. So, yeah, I think I remember. I haven't heard of the Club in a long time. You're absolutely right.
I'm going to take you back even longer, where it was more of a simple thing. Is you would hide a kill switch somewhere into your vehicle. So, you would have the ability to basically a hidden switch somewhere that would kill all power to the vehicle, to the battery, to everything. So now there's just no power. Somebody doesn't find that switch or isn't smart enough electronically to get and figure out what that is to block the car, is basically dead.
Wow.
So I guess outside of towing it, picking it out of there, you're certainly not going to get it started very easily.
I think if they can bring those simple things back, then that's the way to go versus spending all these thousands of dollars just trying to keep your car safe.
I always thought that having another vehicle as a blocker vehicle, your dad's pickup truck, something there that just made it harder to access the vehicle would seem like just commonsensical type of thing. Don't leave it as the front vehicle facing out on the street, ready to just take off and go. But listen, let's put it behind mom's car. Let's bury it behind grandpa's car or whatever, where let's squeeze it in where it's going to be super hard for anybody to get out, make it a little bit harder.
I agree. Not that many people do that, but I agree that works. I agree with you on that one.
We're talking about cars, but we're talking about your own protection, the protection of you and your family with everything, right? Right, Deputy? I mean, it's about being some situational awareness. It certainly seems like everybody in Japan, a safe country that's been very safe for a long time, has seen an uptick in crime, an uptick in some things that have been happening there that haven't happened traditionally. What would be your life advice? Let's take just cars out of it for a second, but everything.
Well, a lot of people, sometimes you can be also, let's say, targeted. You have to be careful of what you post and what you have. But you just never know who's watching. People will end up following you just to see or just to take what you have. I think that's a big safety factor. You don't have to post everything online when it comes to something that belongs to you personally, because you work hard for what you have. And, somebody else might be watching you and say, hey, I want that. I know where he lives. I've seen that car before. Yeah, I know that plate.
What's your favorite Japanese car? I got to ask you.
Well, I would say Toyota or Camry. It doesn't matter how old it is. I see them all the time, but they just keep going and going and going like Energizer Bunny. Versus an American car, I love you, America. I'm not trying to down you or anything like that, but our cars break down. The technology is different, and the way that they build them with stability it's more reliable and dependable.
The old man here going to bring up something else that I think you're probably aware of, or maybe you didn't think of, or statistically doesn't come out. Manual transmission cars nowadays. Do you know how many young people don't even know what that thing is, what the third pedal's for in a car nowadays? Making, from what I understand, manual transmission vehicles not attractive to modern day thieves.
You can't steal it if you don't know how to operate it.
That's right. We're talking about Japanese sports cars. We're talking about cars that are desired because they're sellable, the parts are hot and marketable. By the way, too, many of these cars in Japan get stolen, get parted out, and unfortunately, a lot of these cars are showing up in pieces and in parts and containers coming into our shores and winding up on websites being sold here, which, for a Japanese guy looking at YouTube and looking at websites or eBay and stuff now to see the car that he knows got stolen from him, now just got parted out, and he sees the seats that his mom stitched or the bumper that he had something special on or one scratch he knew about. He sees that for sale here. It's a terrible feeling, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't even explain how those guys must feel.
A lot of people, be honest, they've lost faith in the system because they think that's because they do a police report or go to their local authorities. And we have a lot of people that wait around to hear something to get their car back, or a lot of times you fail because most of the time, you're right, they get chopped up or they get sold out. And a lot of people think that, hey, law enforcement is not doing their job. You're supposed to be finding this and finding. People have to understand that, yeah, we had a lot of car thieves and got a lot of car thefts and accidents and things like that. But it's more that comes with it because we have to cater to everything that is of crime. You might not be the first person at the top of the chart. I really hate disappointing certain people if they find out or they be confident in me that hey, this deputy or this officer is going to do something about it. Then you just never really hear anything. It's a sad deal, and I can't imagine if as many cars if you claim they're still in Japan. I can only imagine how upset people are.
For some of these guys, this is the love of their lives. You may not be married. This is like your girlfriend, your wife, your kids, and everything in one, and then it gets taken from you. Really, I've seen it destroy a lot of people very mentally.
Right.
Here's what a lot of people say. It's a low priority for police stolen cars. In Japan, too, this is what I see a lot of Japanese people say. They bring it to the police. The police don't do nothing. Your point, what you just said, is well taken. Obviously, there's not just one incident going on at a time. There's a lot of things going on. The police are busy, but I think that a lot of people feel because there's insurance money involved, the police know, listen, the guy lost his car, but, he's going to get his payout from the insurance company. Does it become a lower priority thing, do you think, for police to deal with as opposed to other crimes? I mean, what's the actuality?
I would say it depends on the city because bigger cities, you're going to have more things going on. You might not be able to attend to it. Your smaller cities, they might not have as much going on and they can focus on that more. But even having a task force, stuff keeps happening so periodically, even they can't keep up. And it's not that we don't want to do anything because we are trying our hardest, but it's the amount that comes in. A lot of people, not a whole lot, but some people do get their cars recovered. It's just hard to keep up with all these lost vehicles and stolen vehicles.
To sum up what we discussed today is once it's gone, it's maybe too late. Point is, you don't want it to go that far. You don't want it to even have to go and I don't mean rely on the police, but I mean, you don't want to even have to be in a situation where you got to call the police to do it. So protect yourself. And maybe what we discovered today was that as new and as high tech and as the world is, perhaps there are some low tech solutions to this problem, analog, old guy solution to a problem like this that maybe can help. Old school ideas, but may have a big effect even on modern day type of vehicles. I want to talk with you more about a lot of things, I think. I got a feeling me and you would enjoy talking about a lot of different topics. I support what you do, your outreach to the community, your frankness, your straightforwardness. It's very admirable. What you do every day and risking your life for the community here locally is, you have my respect. I think that's the point, guys. Respect is what it is. Respect other people's stuff. Respect their cars. A guy parks in the back of a parking lot, by the way. Guys, leave the guy alone. He's not messing with you. Why mess with him? That's the way I see it. I see it, but thank you for opening people's eyes to just a smarter way of living, I think, and safer for all of us.
Appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me on, man. I love your platform too, because, cars are some of us guys' things. So it's like, ooh. So thank you for all you do as well, too. I didn't know that you spoke another language as well until I started watching some of those videos that were in English. I was like, man.
But you know what I say, man? This is my thing, right? I say even if we don't speak the same language, or we don't look alike necessarily, or maybe we don't even think alike, but we respect each other, really, a smile.
Everybody knows what that means.
And it's easy, man, to be nice to people, I think, if you try to be.
I'll give you two thumbs up.
Come drive with me one day. We'll take one of the JDM classics out, and I really look forward to getting to know you better. I really do appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Be safe, man. Thumbs up.